When buying seeds, I'm always wondering if I'm buying enough or buying too little. Being a frugal guy myself, I'd prefer to buy only what I need. And when I'm buying seed, I typically have an idea of how much yield I'd like to get out of my crops. But in game, there's really no way to determine how much seed you actually need. I'm here to change that. In this video, we're going to figure out exactly how much seed you need to get a desired amount of yield for 14 crops in Farming Simulator 2022. Let's get started. Because here on the map, I have many of the different crops all in a row. I've got each of them planted. So at this time, I have every one of them planted. And now I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. We're going to skip through some more days, let them all grow up. And then we're going to go through the harvest for each of these and figure out exactly how much yield we're going to get based on how many seeds I've actually already planted. And I'll show you the spreadsheet. I'll show you all the numbers as we're going along. So first, looks like our sorghum is ready to harvest. Yep, and there's that beautiful yield bonus of 100%. Let's now jump in the harvester, and we're going to run down this row and harvest all of these. I'll give you the numbers at the end of what this yield looks like for sorghum. So after that harvest, looks like I planted 81.5. Okay, so we got 81.5 liters of yield per liter of seed that I planted. Next up, we have oats. Those are just the same, so it looks like 100% yield bonus. So let's run through these and see what we got. And wait for it. And we have 20.7 liters of seed yield per liter of seed. So that gives you a good example of how much oats you will get based on them per seed. So let's now go ahead and skip ahead here and see what other crop is ready to go. And looks like next up we have, let's see here, what is that? Potatoes? Oh no, potatoes, yeah. All right, so potatoes, we got to use the big space machine here and remove the foliage and then harvest all the potatoes. And let's run through this and see what we come up with. That space machine, those potato harvesters are one of a kind. All right, now that I'm running through, let's see what we get. For potatoes, you're going to get around 21.6 liters of yield per liter of seed that you put in. So not too bad. So next up, what do we have here? Let's go ahead and skip ahead a little bit of time. Again, because each of these crops have different harvest schedules. Next up, we have soybeans. If you're ready to harvest, we have our yield bonus of 98 to 100%. Let me run through this again and see what we come up with. And let's see what we come up with soybeans. All right, next up, soybeans. Around 29.6 liters of seed per liter, or liters of yield per liter of seed. All right, next up, barley. Barley, 100% yield. Barley, I kind of like barley. I like the look of barley for some reason. I really don't know. So anyway, run through this, see what we come up with again. And for barley, we come up with 38.4. So a fair amount of barley. Again, notice that they are 100% yield bonus, so everything's going to be 98 to 100% yield bonus. All right, next up, grass. Can't forget grass. Let me go ahead and run through the grass real quick. So I try to get every sort of plantable crop that you can do here. So let's see what grass comes up with. So after that quick harvest, grass comes up with 202. So you do get quite a bit of yield per liter of seed for grass. So grass is easy. You know, you really don't have to plant it. That's not meadow grass. I've planted the plantable grass. But all right, corn, my favorite crop here in southern Indiana. We have lots of corn. Run through that, see what we come up with. Corn is, drum roll, 43.1 liters of yield per liter of seed. And again, these are rough estimates. You'll see, you'll get a little bit different each one. So sunflowers, get my sunflower harvester out, and same thing. Going to run down through. What do we come up with? 34.6. Now, again, these are going to be plus or minus. I can't get them perfect. So let me go through each of them here. Next up, sugar beets, same thing. I planted a general, a measured amount of seed, and I have that in the spreadsheet. I didn't put that in there because you don't really need to know it, but I'm going to go through. I'm going through each of these and just kind of giving out the amount of seed that I planted and get the yield out of that seed. So sugar beets, 287. So you do get quite a bit of yield of sugar beets from a liter of seed that you plant in the ground for your sugar beets. What do we have next here? We have, looks like this is, I think this is oats. I think. Wheat. Maybe it's wheat. I think it's wheat. Let's see. Is it wheat? Is it wheat? Yes, it is a wheat. 36.18. So you get around, I don't know, 35 to 37, plus or minus, that sort of thing. Sugarcane, the different one, this beast of a monstrosity machine that we have to put to harvest is sugarcane. This one, it took me a little bit to figure it out, but in the end, I got 2.32, so you can get a whole lot. Next up, cotton. This is one of those other kind of difficult crops because you have this enormous bale that this thing puts out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for cotton. It's kind of hard to harvest and manage. But anyway, let's run through it just like any other crop. We'll run through it and see what kind of yield we come up with for cotton. For cotton, we have 17.71, so you get around, 17 to 18 liters of yield per liter of seed. Next up, I think this is, what is this? This is canola, I think. Let's see. Yes, canola, 0.76. So you really don't get very much canola at all out of a liter of seed. Maybe that's because they're a little more expensive. Yeah, I don't really know about that one. And then finally, we have grapes, 12.48. I didn't do grapes because they're a little bit different, but I hope that gave you a really good example of what kind of yield that you can get from the liter of seed that you plant.